Okay. Well, hopefully that'll be a little bit better. Okay, so there is a new lake. So do we? What do we do this week? Do you want to? Actually, now I can change this down. Okay. So do we discover something, have a discussion about something, or start a project?
Maybe find some cattle,
Okay.
but I don't know it's a project or not.
I would say that would be discover something. So I guess we'd put that somewhere on the map, where a herd of cattle, or are we? So let's see here. There's a scarcity of cattle on the map, so it would be something that we would discover. Would we try and capture them as well? Or would we just find them as sort of roaming and then go hunt them every now and then?
No, we capture them.
Okay. So we'll use that as a discovery action. So we've discovered the cattle, we've brought them back to the community. So I'm going to leave that as a scarcity because we still don't have very many. But we'll also use it as a resource. So I'm going to come in here and now say that we can use this as a resource. There's probably not going to be enough time to breed anymore, so we have taken them away, however, from the wild, and so what we've got now is what we've got. Actually, let me take it off of scarcity instead. I'm going to change my mind on this one. So I'm going to take it off of there. I'm going to put it under resources, but I'm going to make it a scarcity of cattle. So we'll say cattle, but we don't have very many. Okay, there we go. I think that'll be a little bit better. That way we at least know that it is now available to the community. Which does sort of beg the question of how we've been feeding our people for the last several months, but, foraging and hunting, I suppose, can just sort of be a blanket case for all of that. Okay, it is now Calum's turn. Or, yes, horses, actually. There's an abundance of horses, so we've been eating horse meat the whole time. Good call. Been hunting and eating wild horses. and licking the mossy stones. Okay, Calum, it's your turn. New event here. Nine of Hearts. A charismatic young girl convinces many to help her with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her? And we start a project. Or, a charismatic young girl tries to tempt many into sinful and dangerous activities. Why does she do this, and how does the community respond? And again, I can always flip a coin if we want to just let fate decide which one it goes to. We never interrogated the old man. We just talked about it. So that has not been dealt with yet. Oh, were you not here for that? We discovered that one of our members was a former minion of darkness and used to work for the evil forces, and so we have made a determination that we're going to interrogate him, but no one's done it yet. Yeah, we have not commenced the tickle torture yet. Yes, we are still in spring. So, we've got a fair amount of time to get these things done, but we've got 2 more days of spring left. Ooh, okay, okay. So, we have a young girl who is now making a very good case for why don't we join them if we can't beat them. Okay, so let's put that under a problem. We have a girl proselytizing evil. is that how we want to? I don't know how to phrase this. How do I phrase this? I get what girl convincing others to join evil. We'll just go with that. So that's a problem that has now popped up. And, okay, so that's the event. So now what action do you want to take? Do you want to discover something, have a discussion, or start a new project? And here's everything that's going on right now. Oh, speaking of, I actually have to lower this. It's been another week. Well, I mean, I haven't... the idea for this setting was based upon Dracula from Castlevania, but I wanted to leave it a little bit more ambiguous, because by the time this happens in winter, it's almost going to be like the White Walkers. So I haven't really decided what the evil is going to be, but it's just... some... And in Castlevania games, they often refer to that, too. Every time they try and resurrect Dracula, they talk about resurrecting the Lord of Darkness, or the Prince of Darkness, or whatever. So, I don't know. The phraseology is also ambiguous as pertains to the game. We don't know yet what is coming our way. Although I suppose we would, seeing as how we've tried to flee the disaster, but... Okay. So how long do you want to spend tickle torturing the prisoner? Trying to get information out of him. And in this situation, it's not necessarily how much time we want to spend as how much time do we think it would take to accomplish the goal. So presumably we're trying to interrogate him, find out a little bit about what he knows about the forces of darkness. And what was it? We also wanted to see if he was on our side or if he's still beholden to evil. Although now that we've determined that the young girl knows him or is related to him, maybe that's a part of it. So I guess basically what we're determining now with that project is how long are we going to spend doing this that we think we're going to get some results. So I'll add that to the project. We'll say, torture old man. one of these over here. 1 month. 1 month of being tickled. Wow. This is taking a bit of a dark turn, but I like it. Okay, so we're back up to Untamed Fox. But before we continue on, I am going to take a break for a moment. I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. So, just to chime in on Are We the Bad Guys, no one has yet whispered me with any opposition to what's been going on in town. So bear in mind that is still an option. If you don't like the direction things are going, you can tell me that you object, and I'll start putting marbles in the bowl that can be used to sort of stop what's going on, or change directions, or sabotage a project, or something like that. If you want to add that little twist in there. But anyway, it is now Untamed Fox's turn, and we are almost done with spring. 8. An old piece of machinery is discovered, broken, but perhaps repairable. What is it and what's it for? Or, an old piece of machinery is discovered, cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it? Is Untamed Fox here? I haven't seen her in chat for a while. Old and repairable. Okay. Discovered in the Hanging Gardens. Aqueducts. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So we have aqueducts in the Hanging Gardens that are in disrepair. So let's say, whoops, no, don't do that. I'm gonna give it this color. And we will say there are aqueducts here. Okay. So they are in disrepair. Let's put that under lore. Jesus, come on. So we have aqueducts in disrepair. Okay. So that was the event. What are we doing this week? Actually, wait, before we do that, weapons. Weapons are done. So we now have a resource of weapons. And I'm going to say they're pretty good weapons because we spent a whole month crafting them. We have access to iron. So I'm going to say quality weapons. That is not how you spell quality, of course, but anyway, quality weapons. So that is done on the projects. We change attempting to tame wolves down to 3. Torture the old man is down to 3. Okay. So, what are we doing, Untamed Fox? Discovering something new, holding a discussion, or working on a project? Explore the abandoned city. Okay. So are we doing that as a discovery, or do you want that to be a project where we spend some time exploring it? Discovery. Okay. So while exploring the city, what do we discover? Yeah. I mean, it's my attempt at, I don't know, some ruined buildings. It could be a cathedral, it could be a cat building, I don't know. It's a bunch of ruins, I don't know. Not necessarily. I mean, we only said this was an abandoned city. We never said it was in ruins. It's just abandoned. Look, drawing is not something that this game is made for, and it's hard to do with a mouse. Old paintings in a sorry state, but maybe we can do something. Okay. Let's do... pick a brown. And we find a bunch of paintings. I'm not going to actually put that here. Presumably we will take them back. So I will put that under resources? Let's put that under resources. We have a bunch of shabby paintings that we can now maybe do something with. Okay. So we move on to Pocket Ninja. And I think this is the last day of spring. The Jack. You see a good omen, or you see a bad omen. What is it? Okay. What is the bad omen? Oh, and I also get to advance the... Oh, no, wait a minute. We haven't done that yet. Sorry. Getting ahead of myself. We see the old man's doppelganger in the cathedral. Ooh, okay. I'm going to put that under lore. Put that under lore. We have discovered a doppelganger of the old man. That's not how you spell doppelganger. Yeah, so that causes a little bit of concern, seeing as how we've got the old man in our settlement. Well, we don't know. We'll have to discover that one, Zoc. Okay, so that was the event. What are we doing this week? Actually, first of all, let me advance these. What are we doing this week? Are we discovering something new? Are we holding a discussion about something? Are we starting a project? I should probably specify this guy is in the cathedral, just so we know where we have to go back to. Discover a hidden entrance behind one of the paintings. Okay. So, how do I portray that? I'll just put a big old circle here. Maybe color it in if I can. It's a shame there's no fill. Maybe I can fill that in there, maybe. Okay. So, are we just leaving that ambiguous, or... I mean, I guess it would just be a location. So we would actually have to specifically go in and explore it, I guess. Unless you wanted to have that a discovery, saying that we find a hidden entrance and it goes somewhere. Okay, leave it open-ended. Excellent. Okay, so now we move down to Zoc. We are now in summertime. And the first thing of summer is the Queen. A project finishes early. Which one? And why? If there are no projects underway, boredom leads to a quarrel. A fight breaks out between two people. Okay, so we can either decide to finish one of these early, or a fight breaks out. The wolves have finished. Okay. So we now have, as a resource, tamed wolves. Perfect. So that, presumably then, well, okay, actually, wait a minute. Right, attempt to tame the wolves. So, I guess, I assumed incorrectly that we had tamed them. It was just an attempt to. We had determined that we had wanted to leave it ambiguous as to maybe we failed. So, let's tame wolves. Let's decide how we're going to determine if we did it. So how do we decide if we've done this? Obviously, probably like a die roll. But what are the odds? I mean, we spent 6. Well, actually, we've technically only spent a month. Okay, actually, wait. Sorry. This thing actually does say a project finishes early. Which one and why? So we were spending a month and a half, 6 weeks, trying to tame wolves. This ended early. Why did it end early? Is it because we tamed them or because we failed to tame them? Something happened that we are no longer trying to attempt to tame them. So, what happened? Why is this done? Why have we decided this is done? We fed them horse meat. Okay, so we've successfully tamed them, then, is what we're saying. By feeding them the abundant horses, we have helped to... Okay. Okay, cool. So we do, in fact, now have tame wolves on our side. Okay, and so that gets deleted. Okay. And there's still 2 more weeks of torture for the Tickle Man. Actually, no. Now there's only 1 more week, because that was the event. So, next week, that will resolve. Okay, so what are we doing this week, Zoc? Are we discovering something, holding a discussion, starting a project? I can zoom in on the cards again. It's kind of... I don't know really what to focus on, because I want you guys to be able to see what's going on with the cards, but I don't want you to forget what we have on the map either. Because we've got a few things here. Sorry, was I muted? How long was I muted? The question was, are we doing that as a discovery, or are we starting a project? I can roll a die, or flip a coin, or something. Well, okay, so a project then. So we're going to spend some time exploring it then, is what you want to do. So we will explore the hidden entrance. 4 weeks. Month on it. Okay. Let me grab a die. No, not the bowl. There. Okay. Okay. We are to Calum. And I guess I probably should have asked before we went into a new season, do you guys want to keep going? Or has this been going on long enough? I don't know how late it is for you guys right now. We'll finish off the round here. But it's going to take us a while to get through the whole year, so I don't know if you guys want to take a break halfway through, or we can always just, tell me when you guys need to go, and we can always just end it there, I guess. But okay, Calum, you're still here? Okay. Let's see. We need... Okay. 5, we're in the 5. No, what the... Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit faster. I think it was just a little bit of a confusion about the rules, and my explaining them made it a little bit slow, but it is a pretty fast game. Okay, so we are at 8 diamonds. The event. Someone is trying to take control of the community by force. Do they succeed? Or a headstrong community member decides to put one of their ideas into motion, and we are starting a foolish project. Foolish project. Weaponize wild kids? Okay. So, so what, in what way are we going to do that? Are we... Yeah, I mean, I guess, how are we weaponizing them? Catapult fodder. It kind of reminds me of that cutscene from, I think it was Warhammer Mark of Chaos or something, where they load the orc into the catapult and fling him at the wall. Okay, so we're gonna train the kids to handle weapons, is what you want to do. And how long do we want to do that? That's an interesting turn, though, us being the bad guys. Again, anyone who wants to object can whisper me in the chat, and can add that wrinkle in. Two weeks? Okay. Okay, so that's the end of that event, which means that some projects finish. This will be going down. We'll leave this at 2 weeks because we just discovered that. But the torturing the old man, tickle torturing the old man, is done. So whose project was that? I should probably actually start making labels because we need to determine what were the what's the result of our tickle torture. How long did we do it? For a month? A month of well, not just young kids, but feral kids too. These are the wild kids. So yeah, what did we learn from torturing the old man? I think what we were initially trying to find out was whose side was he on. But we could learn anything. At this point, after a month of being constantly tickled, he's probably willing to say anything. But he was a former minion of darkness, so if it can relate to that. Okay. So what happens then, Caleb? What did we learn? Why did we do this to this old man? It's also possible we completely broke him and he's useless. So, I mean, it's really up to you what the result of this is. And he is related to the girl who is trying to start a cult. Bear in mind, she has been convincing people to join for a couple weeks now, and nothing has been done about that. But that's for future problems. And it can always tie into the end of the story, because at the end of all this, we have to decide what happens. Because it's left open-ended. So, okay, I mean, fair enough, but to be held by slavers using child labor who tortured him for a month, he still thinks it's better being with the Lord of Darkness. That's the end of this, is what you're saying. Fair enough. I mean, fair enough. That's the end of it. So, So the project is done, but how do we wrap this up? I guess I can just put that result on this, that he is completely turned against us. And we get nothing useful out of it? Is that how we're doing this? Hey Jesper. Yeah, in a minute. So, so he's like my Overlord character, where he's actually like the lawful evil, and we're the chaotic evil. Okay, so let's actually just finish this up here. So we have not convinced him to our side. We've actually turned him against us, and he is now doubling down on the Lord of Darkness. Okay. So we're gonna say torture failed, turned against us, and Okay. So let's talk about that now, because we still presumably have him captured, but we'll have to determine, maybe does he try and escape back to the Lord of Darkness, which could possibly cause problems, because then he would be able to say, here's a community of assholes, go destroy them. I mean, this now leaves it open to other future problems. Okay, so we'll say he recommits to to the darkness, army of darkness. And okay, so that was that project. Okay, so now you actually get to decide, Caleb, what we're doing this turn. Are we discovering something? Right? Wait a minute. Because we went with the event of this project that we started. That was an event, and then an event finished. Right. So now you actually have to do an action. So did we discover something, talk about something, start a project? And while you're thinking about that, no, it doesn't actually. The event is its own thing. This is one that you actually get to decide. And it doesn't have to be a project, so you can actually discover something or hold a discussion. While you're thinking about that, I will bring Jesper up to speed here. So we're playing The Quiet Year. We are a community that has abandoned or fled a city that has fallen to the Lord of Darkness, and we have a year to prepare because he's going to spread out and destroy the countryside in winter. And so we've discovered this land with a forest and an isolated community that has been untouched by the conflict going on. We've discovered a coast with a cave that had a bunch of wild children in it that we then brought back to civilization, and we have trained up to now be our warriors. We've trained them on weaponry. We've got some fishing boats that we have not done anything with. There's a bunch of mossy stones that we haven't done anything with, as well as a duck-shaped lake that we've discovered. We've also discovered an abandoned city that happens to have a hanging gardens in it, as well as aqueducts that are in disrepair, but could be repaired to be used again. And there's also a hidden entrance that we found inside a cathedral behind some paintings that we have not yet explored. As far as the community, we are apparently a band of slave traders using child labor to do some mining, which is how we actually have our weapons, because we have in abundance in this area a bunch of horses, but we also have in scarcity a carbonated spring, so we have some water, but there's not a lot of it, and we also have some iron, but there's not a lot of it. But we have managed to turn our fortunes around such that we have taken some lumber out of the forest via wheelbarrows that we built. We found some cattle that were in scarcity that we've decided to gather and collect. So we've brought them back and domesticated them. We have some nice quality weapons because we spent a while making them. We brought back some of those shabby paintings that could possibly be restored or something done with them. We have not actually determined what those paintings are. And we actually tamed some wolves, so they're no longer a problem. I can take those off the problem. The old man that we were torturing, we had discovered was part of the community. He had been a former minion of darkness. We decided to interrogate him to find out whether he was a spy or a mole for the forces of darkness, or if he was actually one of us. But through our torture, we convinced him that he's definitely not one of us, and he's he's definitely recommitted himself to the Lord of Darkness. The other problem we are facing is that the darkness is coming, and we have decided to ask the wild children if they know something about it, or weaponize them. We've decided to weaponize them, but we can still ask them about what they know of the darkness, and we're trying to grow our numbers, which we managed to do with the kids that we've brought over and trained, or are training as soldiers. Have I missed anything? I think that's where we're at. I think that's where we're at. Okay. This is insane, and I love it. And this is going to be what we're doing for the next stream. Anyway, Caleb, what are we doing this week? Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is that community members have the option of being in opposition to some of the things that are going on. And if they oppose, I will put things in a bowl. We use the whisper function in Twitch chat, or we're going to. So this is sort of a collective bowl of contempt, which can be used as resources basically to sabotage things that someone doesn't like. Again, by whispering to me, that is being kept a secret. Who dislikes it and who is causing the opposition to what's going on in the town. So it kind of adds a little bit of a werewolf theme in there as well, which is something I would like. Although, seeing as how we're all apparently evil, that doesn't seem to be a problem. That has yet to happen. Oh yes, and we've also adopted a wandering mathematician, who has yet to have major impact. Oh, well, he helped with the weaponry. He used his mathematics to give us very precise weaponry that is also indeterminate at this point. We've got weapons, but we don't know precisely what they are. I will go ahead and add you to the Cloud Soda is apparently left, so I will add you to our rotation, and how about we make that the next turn? We haven't determined what we're doing yet for this week. So have you open a discussion on how we can get the girl to stop spreading the word of darkness? Okay. So let's do a cloning here, and let me. So the problem is that we are trying to stop the evil girl, or girl of darkness. Let's just say evil girl. Okay, so everyone else now gets to chime in on how they think we're going to do that. I know. So she's not really evil, she's trying to get us to join the League of Darkness. Okay. Tickle torture her too? Or we join. Well, which one do you want? Wait. What's it gonna be? Join them. Okay. One option is to join them. Hold her hostage. Okay. So basically, by holding her hostage, we would imprison her with the old man. Is that how we're doing that? So we're basically going to imprison her. So we've got both minions of darkness now in some prison, which, by the way, we have not determined what the settlement looks like. We're basically still just like a camp, because we never talked about building homes or finding shelters or anything like that. So really, whatever we fled with is what we've been living with for, well, all through spring, which is fine. We might say that causes complications in the fall when it gets a little bit colder. Right now we're in summer, so that's fine. But see, do we even have a jail? I mean, it is an option that we could maybe move to the abandoned city, since that exists. Right now we're kind of encamped in the middle of the map. Although we could retcon that, because that was my decision. We never determined where we actually settled. So maybe we could determine that that's actually where we are. Should we just say that? Should we just say we're actually in the abandoned city, that we decided to move there? Or should we just stay in our camp? I'll leave that to you guys as a decision. We'll just say for right now we're camped out in the middle of this area, and that's because we kind of never determined what we're doing, but a lot of what we're talking about, because we've explored this a lot. So we're just going to say we've moved to the abandoned city? We'll just use that as a free action then, because that was not actually decided at. Oh shit! That was not decided at any point. So we'll say that we're actually living in the abandoned city. that is where we set up camp. So we're using buildings as our prisons and as our homes. And with that in mind now, we actually have defensible areas. Rather than being out in the wilderness, we can now actually use this. So we can determine that as part of the story too. So we've set up camp in the abandoned city. We still need to determine. Yes, prisons plural. Okay, so I need Untamed Fox, Jesper, and Calum to give me your opinions on how we stop the evil girl, or what we're going to do. What we're going to do about this evil girl who is spreading the word of darkness in our camp. So, Jesper, the way discussions work is you basically just give a one-sentence opinion on what you want to do. The discussions themselves do not resolve. They just sort of are here as problems, and then we determine what we want to do about them. So interrogating the old man is sort of actually done already. We could actually probably pull this out of here because this has been resolved. So yeah, we've got this girl. Now, bear in mind, she has not been imprisoned yet. That has only been discussed. So, just remember that. This is a discussion about it. So, okay, you're down for the imprisonment as well. Imprison? Okay. It sounds like the idea then is we want to imprison her. Again, this is only a discussion. We have not actually done this yet. I think, Calum, I need your... I think I need your decision on what we want to do here. Try to gain her trust. Okay. Gain her trust. Okay. So this will be interesting because this is now going to be up for grabs. I'm going to take this event. We've interrogated the old man and turned him against us. These situations, again, are basically first come, first serve who gets to decide what they want to do. And again, this is where this whole contempt thing comes in. If you don't like what someone tried to do, and I guess we can still keep this over here because he's still imprisoned. He has not escaped yet, if he's ever going to. And I don't know how we determine if that happens. I guess if a bad event comes up in the cards, maybe we can say that is the thing. I don't know. That's kind of the interesting thing about this game, is that it's very open-ended and it's very community story-driven. Like, we can decide collectively what happens. Anyway, so yes, so we've discussed, and most people are in favor of imprisoning her, but no one has done it yet. Okay, that is that discussion. Okay. God, that was a very long turn. Okay, so we'll move it down. Jesper, this is now your turn. First turn. So, first thing first, we draw a card to determine what happens this week. And everything breaks down to weeks, is how this goes. So, 5 of diamonds. A project finishes early, or the weather is nice and people feel the potential all around them so we can start a new project. So the projects we currently have going are exploring this hidden entrance in the city, or we're trying to train our kids up with the weapons, the wild kids with weapons, turn them into soldiers, or we decide to start a new project. So which is it? Let me zoom in just a little bit here. So, whilst exploring the abandoned city, we found some paintings in a cathedral. Behind the paintings, there was a hidden entrance. We have not gone in it yet. So that is what this project is. We've been spending, what, a month? 4 weeks? We've only spent 1 week so far exploring it, but you could finish that early, and we could decide, because part of this is a project finishes early, why did it end early? So if we've only spent a week at it, why did it end early? If that is the one you want to complete first. Otherwise, we complete the one that is training kids, or we start another project for the community. Which a project doesn't have to. A project can be anything. It can be, gathering some mossy stones or using the fishing boats to try and find some fish. It can be dealing with one of these issues that are plaguing the community. Okay, so we have finished exploring the hidden entrance. But so this is kind of an open-ended one. This is kind of like the last one. We determined we were going to spend a month exploring through the entrance, but it only took a week. Why did it only take a week? Is it because we couldn't go further? Is it because we found something? Is it because it was really like just a cupboard instead of a full-blown... I mean, what caused this project to end early? Who decided... Whose project was that? Okay, so now the rules say that it is whoever completes the project gets to determine what happens, but I'm willing to have more of a collaborative decision on this one, since it's pretty open-ended. Collapse tunnel? Okay. So that kind of goes together, then. Basically, we tried to explore the entrance and decided that it is collapsed. So let's say that's part of the lore now. We know there is a collapsed tunnel behind... or in Cathedral, or behind, let's say behind Cathedral. Yeah, you're right, I definitely do. So let's go ahead and just do that. Who came up with Train the Wild Kids with the weaponry? Whose project is that? Okay. Put a C for Caleb. Okay. So, that happens. There's a collapsed tunnel in the cathedral. So, yes, Zoc, we could... or Caleb, we could actually use the kids to mine out the tunnel if we still think there's something there. So, presumably, then, we didn't find anything in the entrance. It's actually... In fact, I can now... come over here and change this to from hidden entrance to collapsed tunnel, because we have now explored that. Okay, so that was the event. The project goes down to 1. We've almost finished training the kids up with weaponry, and so now, Jesper, you get to decide what action we are taking. There's 3 possible actions. One is to discover something new, and that could be a location on the map, or we can discover something within a location whilst exploring one of these problems or something. We could maybe discover, so like stopping the evil girl, If we were to interrogate, we could use that as a discovery, or we could use interrogation as a project, for example. So there's the discovery. There's hold a discussion, where we do one of these things, talking about like stopping the evil girl or what to do about the coming of darkness. Or we start a new project, which can deal with one of these. It can be something brand new. There's quite a lot of stuff still here. As far as lore, we've dealt with the children. Maybe I should take that off the lore. Or should I put these as problems? Maybe I should put these as problems. Yeah, let's do that. That would actually make a little bit more sense. I'm going to take these, and I'm going to put them into problems. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. So some of the problems we have, we still got the old man, minion of darkness, the girl that we have not imprisoned yet, we've just talked about it. We've got the aqueducts in the city that are in disrepair. We've got the doppelganger of the old man that was found in the cathedral. The collapsed tunnel. Okay, you want to interrogate the girl? Okay. So, I guess, so this is something that I will leave to you. Do you want it to be a project, like when we tickle-tortured the old man, or we can just use discover something, and you can determine what you want to find out by interrogating her. Now, bear in mind, she's related to the old man, and we have turned the old man against us, so most likely she's not going to be very willing. She's probably not going to like us. So that's kind of where this gain her trust thing came in, but I don't know. Again, this is completely up to the player to determine what's going on with the story. Okay. Well, should we just set that up as a project then, and we can set that for later? Okay. Okay, we'll set that up as a project then. So, the project is to try and gain her trust, or interrogate her. Trust. Okay. And how long do we want to spend doing that? Dang it. I keep forgetting to add a space there for the die. Okay. So another month. Now, yes, her family member is in prison. We've captured him. She has not been captured. So you're spending a month just trying to somehow... She's wandering free in the village, still talking about you should join evil. And we're going to spend a month trying to get her onto our side, trying to convert her to us, I guess, right? By gaining her trust. That's kind of what this is about. Okay. So that's that. Whew. We move back to Untamed Fox for the next event in summer. Someone new arrives. Who is it? Or someone leaves. Who is it? More mathematicians. Okay, who leaves? It doesn't necessarily have to be someone already here. We can make up a new character. So who are they leaving and why are they leaving? A priest. A priest has left. Presumably fed up or to proselytize? Is this an evil priest? Why did the priest leave? Or as this thing says, what are they looking for? Ah, okay. So, a priest has left to go check out the isolated community. Okay. Let's put that under lore. Priest leaves, wow. On mission to, isolated, yeah, I see that it's buffering. Okay, well, the purpose is enough that he's leaving to go to the other isolated mission, or that so wait a minute, so not necessarily a mission then. He's just going to the other. He's just going to the other village because he doesn't like being here. Then is that what we're saying? He doesn't like it here, so he's going to try his luck with the other community. Okay. Okay, I'm going to restart the stream and try and get us back up to speed so there's not a delay. I will be right back.